Alright, so if you can't tell, this music, wow, I don't know what I'm thinking here. This video is going to be about magics. I recently purchased the bundle off of icubemart that was the All of the Magics bundle. It contains the Cube Twist magic, the Ghost Hand magic, the Ling Ao magic, and the Sheng-En or Type F magic. And so it's everything except for the Rubik's brand. I got it for the purpose of having multiple magics because they're fragile and I'm not the friendliest to magics. And I needed some more because I don't have enough strings to restring my old Ling Ao. I guess I could buy new strings, but I wanted more anyway. So I'm going to be giving my thoughts on these. I've worked with these all for at least a day each. Off and on, obviously. So, starting off with the Cube Twist. This is not the best magic at all, by any means. It is my least favorite of the four. It's, I don't know, it's decently fast, but if you have a magic, you know what cutting corners really kind of is for magic. It's, obviously it's not cutting corners, but it's just the flow of the whole thing, and the Cube Twist magic has the least of it, even compared to Rubik's magics, which I don't actually have, but I've used. And it's just not good. It might be a good beginner's magic. I don't know if I don't remember the prices for it because obviously I got it in a bundle. So you can look it up. If it's the cheapest magic and you want to learn just the beginner's method, maybe get it, but I would not recommend it to anybody. I'll just give a couple example solves. And it does that a lot for me, is not fall out completely. I mean, that was a 1.30, that was a decent solve, but I just don't like the way it feels. I really don't. Yeah. It's just gross for me. I mean, some of that can come with a little bit more practice with it, I guess, but I just don't have any incentive to practice with it. So next up is the Ghost Hand magic. These three magics, actually, the Ghost Hand, the Ling Ao, and the Type F, are all very good magics, and I'll get into each of them. So with the Ghost Hand, it's pretty fast, and it flows very nicely. It goes through each movement without a hitch, for the most part. And it's relatively sturdy. That's one of the things about the Cube Twist magic. It's very sturdy. It takes a beating. I have popped a string out on it once, but I was being way too rough with it. I was just trying to break it in, see if I could get it better, and it didn't work. So, but this is slightly less sturdy feeling than the Cube Twist magic, but it is still pretty sturdy nonetheless. I have popped strings on it. And again, with the falling like that, that also will come with a little bit of practice on my part, but it definitely does not do it as much as the Cube Twist magic does. 1.40. The other one was like a 1.34, but it was weird. Well, that's a bit odd. I've never had it fall like that before. But, yeah. That was a 1.27. I'm not the most consistent magicer, I don't know, magic solver ever. But I think it's fun. 1.40. So it's fast, it's a good magic. I would recommend it. Next up is the Ling Ao. So this magic is the fastest of all of them. It flows so nicely, and it's just very fast, very smooth, and easygoing. However, it is also the least sturdy. The strings, I've had two Ling Ao magics before this, and the strings just pop out like crazy. You have to be very, very careful to avoid popping a string. And I've actually broken a string on this one. It did come with an extra string, if you can see that. I'm not sure. So once it like comes out, the entire thing falls apart. I will restring it with the full 16, but right now it's running on 15 strings right now. So it's a little bit more fragile than it should be, but in general it's a fragile magic to begin with. And there we go. There's a string issue right there. That was a 1.31. $1.30. Had another string issue in the middle one, 2.58. One more. 10. That was I think that's a +2 in a competition. Without the +2, that was 1.36. So yeah, very, very, very not stable. However, if you know how to restring a magic, it's not that big of a deal. It just, for me, it would have to happen a lot. So last is the type F. If you watch reviews on YouTube of this that aren't mine, you would find that a lot of people don't like it. And I'm not really sure why, because it's probably my favorite magic. Whether I'd use it in the competition or not, I'm not sure, but it's probably my favorite one that there is. All of the other magics are the same size, including the Rubik's, but the type F has thicker tiles, so it is bigger. I don't know if that's advantageous in any way to somebody who has bigger or smaller hands. But when you first get it, obviously I know why people think it sucks. It's very, very like clanky and gross and slow and locky and just really not fun to use. But after about a day's use and just going through solving it and unsolving it over and over again, it gets really fast. It gets really fast, it flows nicely, and I'm never afraid to solve with it. I haven't popped a string on it ever, and I've been using it consistently for about a week, and that's pretty good because I pop my magic strings quite frequently. But again, since I know how to restring it, it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I really like the Schengen or type F magic. You just have to give it a chance, work with it a little bit. $1.21. I think that was the fastest one I've had so far out of any of them. Yeah, I had a little bit of an issue up top there. 1.13. Yeah, tried to go a little bit too fast on that one. That ended up in a 2.33. I'm just trying to show it off, guys. I'm going way too fast, way faster than I should be going. 1.27. That was me not trying as hard. 1.18. So yeah, this is probably my favorite magic of the bunch. So if I had to rate them, I would... Obviously, my least favorite is the cube twist. My next favorite is... My second least favorite is probably the Ling Ao, just because it is way fragile. I might be tempted to use it in a competition because out of 5 solves it usually doesn't freak out on me. But long-term use, I would not recommend this at all unless you are comfortable restringing and restringing and restringing. Then is the Ghost Hand. Yeah, I think it's really nice. And then finally, my favorite one of the bunch is actually the Type F, which actually really surprised me based on the reviews I saw for it on YouTube. So there you go. That is a comparison of all 4 types of magics that aren't the Rubik's brand.